our congregational song. We've done this one, it's been a while. But now that we're all back together, please sing it with me. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing grace today. I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing grace today. Come on, Bob. Give it up for Bob and our very own Seaside band. I'm choosing compassion today. I'm choosing compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing compassion today. Joy, I'm choosing joy today. Come on, I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing joy today. Abundance, I choose abundance today. Woo, I choose abundance today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I choose abundance today. Oh, yeah.
I love good choices. I like it. Hey, good morning, Seaside. And happy 4th of July, everyone. And you too at home. Happy 4th of July. What a day of celebration and aliveness and excitement and dynamics. And how about you? You gigging anywhere
Yeah.
for 4th? Yeah, what?
Super grateful. We are actually doing a sold-out show at a place called the International. It's downtown San Diego. We're going to be on like a top rooftop deck, and they're going to be
sweet.
serving barbecue, and then we play at 6 o'clock until the fireworks, and it's going to be
nice.
amazing. So,
But sold out.
and it's sold out.
What-
People, it sold out pretty quickly.
What about your Thursday? Moonlight Theater.
Yes. So
That's
there's
sold out?
God, no, I haven't heard the word on that yet. So
Okay.
if you want to come to the gospel show, that's going to be at Moonlight Theater. That's this coming Thursday. I have a link on my website, or if you can just type in the Moonlight Amphitheater and come hang out with us for a gospel show.
Oh, man, that would be nice. That would be nice. Hey, you know, it's fun seeing people back for the first time. I
know.
see Daryl Macy sitting back there. First time back in like a year and a half, man. Welcome home. Woo.
Nice.
And sitting also from Arizona is Reverend Jill and her hubby Ron, and just came through Seaside, and we're just excited of the new work you started there in Scottsdale. That, you know, you two should talk, you know, both of you, Scottsdale. Anybody back for the first time today? Oh my goodness, stand up so we can just say welcome home. We love you guys. Hey, Carlos, good going. All right, it is just exciting. Things are happening, and we just continue to be here through it all.
That's right.
And the tribe's coming home back.
It's beautiful. It
It
feels
is.
wonderful.
It is. Spirit first always.
Always.
So we got a wonderful prayer today, a powerful practitioner, a teacher of our practitioners that are doing their oral licensing exam this week. So your students are going there. We hold them in our prayers. But Susan Sullivan, one of our past board members here at Seaside, take us to that deeper place.
Thank you, Reverend Christian. So great to see you guys in person with no mask, well, some masks, but still good. I'm going to light the candle, which illustrates the unity that we have together, as well as remembering that Reverend Christian asked us all to light this candle so that one day we would be here. So it wasn't even just a hope of it, it was the faith of it. Because we are one. We need some juice in here. And now I'm going to ask you to join me in the stillness. And as we take that moment to connect to the one that is in us, around us, through us, moving in the world as us, that divine, good, and ever-expanding good that is God. God is that freedom that we enjoy here, that unity, that divinity, that truth that Dr. Reverend Christian talks about in his service, and that Seaside remains the beacon out to the world to remind us of all the good that we have in our life, all the freedom, all of the gifts, the beauty that's everywhere, as long as we just attach to it, just align to it. And knowing that this day is blessed, that everyone here hears exactly what they need to remember that we got through it, that we got out of the storm and out of the fear and into the light of God, and have a joyous, wonderful 4th of July where liberty and justice prevails for all.
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Will you lead me? I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
So beautiful, Rebecca. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? Sacred service is just a beautiful thing to be part of, and the gifts are many that come from being of service. Thank you to all of you that serve Seaside, and you come here on a Sunday and you're of service. Thank you. Thank you for anchoring us so beautifully in song. And Susan, thank you for your prayer, for setting the consciousness for today. And our Seaside band, always magnificent. I'm grateful to have you. Thank you. Good to have you back home, Miss Callie. We miss you when you're gone. Good to be here. Well, really, I miss Christian being able to come in the office and help out. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. You know, a lot of you have found us online over the last year, year and a half, and we're so grateful for that. And now you're starting to come in person, and we're getting to meet you and see you for the first time off of Zoom. And so please know, if you are here for the first time, that we do have new member packages for you, and you can just pick it up in the wicker basket on the way out. New member visitor packages is what they're called, actually, first-time visitor packages. And they have some information in there about who we are, what we believe, some goodies, a Science of Mind magazine, a CD, Dr. Christian talking about the basic beliefs. So check it out and see if we are a match for you. We'd love for you to be here and become a member of Seaside. But most importantly, stick around. Let us get to know you after the service, have some coffee and tea and a muffin, and we like to get to meet you and talk with you. So stay after. Those of you that are still watching us online, so grateful that you're part of our Seaside community. I know some of you are in Europe, some of you are in Hawaii. We know that you're here every week with us, so grateful to have you here. Dr. Christian's talk title today is Beyond the Storm. And I'm going to read today from our Science of Mind magazine. This month's title is Pulled by Vision, which is the same as my talk on Wednesday, Pulled by Vision. And what's interesting about this month's magazine is that they have got 31 different authors in it. Instead of one person writing all of the daily guides, they've chosen from the last 9 years. They've pulled 31 different authors and put it together in this month's issue. And today I'm going to read, of course, the 4th of July. Titled Freedom to Be. Freedom is not the right to live as we please, but the right to find how we ought to live in order to fulfill our potential. And that's Emerson. The freedom which the all-creative wisdom has designed for man is marvelous beyond human perception. That is from this thing called You, Ernest Holmes. Freedom means different things to different people, but basically it is the power or right to act, speak, or think as we want without hindrance or restraint. When we talk about the various freedoms we enjoy in the United States, we're often referencing our constitutional rights, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press. Quite simply, freedom gives us the right to choose the life we want to live. In a spiritual context, freedom means all those things and so much more. As incarnations of the one mind, our freedom to choose plays out on a much grander scale. After all, our oneness with all that is means we have an entire universe of possibilities available to us. It is sometimes difficult to wrap our brain around what it means to be free, to embrace the infinite, and even more incredibly, what it means to have it embrace us back. Oh yes, did I forget to mention that? The universe roots us on every step of the way. And as a bonus, Spirit does not judge or reward one person more than another. Ultimately, only we get to choose how to express our freedom. We are always free to make decisions that empower us, but we are equally free to embrace choices that do not serve us. When we intend wholeness and align with Spirit, we liberate ourselves from the painful missteps and lay the foundation for a richer, more satisfying life. And so it is. God bless you. It's really good to have you here today.
That's a powerful reading. Thank you so much, Rev Deb. Woo. Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor on Sunday mornings to introduce our guest artist. We have a wonderful guest today, and she came all the way down here to be with us from Los Angeles. She's joined us many, many times, incredibly talented. She performs all around, mostly Los Angeles area, but does come down this way sometimes. So please make sure to
stay tuned with what she has going on. She's definitely on social media and all that stuff, which all of us have to be on nowadays. She's working on brand new music. She's got a bunch of new music videos out, so if you can watch those and support those, that's always a really big plus for us. So we, as artists, we appreciate that. So please check her out, follow her on social media and all that stuff. And without further ado, please help me give a nice Seaside welcome to Miss Rain Bisou.
Good morning, Seaside. How are you? How's everybody feeling? It is such a pleasure to be here. It's so nice to see everybody's faces. So very, very grateful. And this is one of my favorite songs, so I hope it inspires you like it does for me. It was very nice to channel it today and to be able to share this message with you. Hope you enjoy. Feel free to stand up and dance if you want. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, won't go from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under space, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go. You're gonna leave 'em going. You don't have to feel like a waste of space. You're original, cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow. Maybe the reason why all the doors are closed, so you can open one that leads you to the perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart will glow, and when it's time to go, you just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go. You're gonna leave 'em going. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. It's always been inside of you, you, you. And now it's time to let it through. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go. You're gonna leave 'em going. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go. You're gonna leave 'em going. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon. Thank you.
Woo! And that is Rain. My goodness. telling us what we are, a firework. As I'm looking at you guys, you should just see how bright the place is. It's just going boom, boom, boom. I love that. You are a firework. How's that feel? Yeah, man, that song just made me want to dance for sure. Anyway, so wow. What a great way to start a 4th of July celebration. And you at home, thank you so much for tuning in here today and just being part of what's going on, because you are a firework. You are a firework. And this morning's message is Beyond the Storm. And this country was built by moving beyond the storm, moving beyond the difficulty, and continuously America steps up to step beyond whatever the challenges are. And I came across a couple of things that it says only in America. And so I want to share with you that only in America can a pizza get to your house faster than an ambulance. Only in America are there handicapped parking places in front of the skating rink. Only in America do drugstores make the sick walk all the way to the back of the store to get their prescriptions, while the healthy people can just buy the cigarettes at the front counter. Only in America do people order double cheeseburgers, large fries, and a Diet Coke. Only in America do we leave our cars worth thousands of dollars in the driveway and then put all our junk in the garage. It's like, hello, what's going on with that one, guys? And the list goes on, but that's all I'm going to give you right now. But only in America do we have, those kind of things that are going on. How blessed we are. I am just so proud to be an American. With all of our faults, our follies, our difficulties, our pains, it is still, without a doubt, the greatest country in the world. It is. And we know that because look at everybody who's wanting still to come to our country with all the difficulties that are going on. But beyond the storm, beyond the challenge, beyond the difficulties, there is that dream that is manifesting, that is unfolding, that is revealing itself. Because our country, it was built not because men and women went in search of gold, but rather they went in search of God. They went in search of being able to honor that life force and that presence that was honoring their heart and their soul, and that's something inside of them that believed there was something beyond the storm. There was something beyond the difficulty. So, no matter what difficulty or circumstance that you have found yourself in, or that you were born into, or somebody has placed you in, no matter what that is, the beauty of our country and our declaration is to say that you are free. You do not need to remain in that position. We have been given freedom, we have been given liberty, and that we are in a country that honors that. You're not born into a class system, and there you've got to stay. We are in the greatest country that says you are free to move around and about. Whenever your heart and soul says. Callie and I, we've got a beautiful painting of George Washington framed in the entryway of our home. And it is one of the classic paintings where you've probably seen it, where he is kneeling down in the snow, in the dark woods, and it's cold. And you can see his horse standing next to him, beautiful steed with just the steam coming out of his nose. And there's a story that goes with that. And it's about a farmer, and this was in the era of the early days of the American Revolution. And remember, this country was born on revolution of people rising up. And it wasn't looking good for the Continental Army. They were being pushed back. They were being destroyed. They were starving. Their feet and hands were frostbit. And it was looking very bleak for our guys that were standing up for the ideal of freedom and the possibilities. And one of the farmers in a nearby house where the Continental Army was in the midst of a battle, he kind of went over there. And as he moved closer to Washington's camp, he heard a voice. And as he got closer, he found this lone voice in agony, just praying out. And as he looked, it was General George Washington. It was the general himself, alone in the woods, praying with such fervent and agony, and tears pouring down his face, is just red. And he is just God, guide me, lead me, assist me. And the farmer went back to his house and told his wife, everything's going to be okay. She said, how do you know? He says, I have never heard prayer prayed with such passion, with such belief, with such fervent that reaching out that God cannot help but respond. And that is what our country is built upon, is prayer and a God that may not fit the consensus God of other religions, but there's something that our New Thought movement talks about. It's personal. It's not outside. It is within. You can be in the middle of the woods. You can be in the cathedral. You could be waiting for your tire to be changed. And that presence of God is as present there as anywhere else. So in the midst of the constraint, the circumstance, the storm, you've got to know beyond that dream, that vision, that possibility exists. To the extent that all 50 of our states' constitutions, every one of them invokes, reaches out, pleads, or prays to God Almighty, the creator of all things. Every one of our states' constitutions is based on God. And so as the Declaration of Independence was penned, we know that Jefferson wrote that it is these truths that are self-evident. We know these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal, and we are all endowed with those unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it goes on in the Declaration that governments are installed to make sure that is what is done. That those rights cannot be taken away from them. They're unalienable. And so I don't know if you realize, but Jefferson, wrote this Declaration of Independence on a laptop. No, it's true. I got a picture of his laptop right here. And so there was no Wi-Fi in the day, we know, but there it is. Seriously, that was Jefferson's laptop, the laptop in which our Declaration of Independence was written on. It's it was a little different than what we got. It's a little harder to make spell check, but it worked. No Wi-Fi. But you know what? That declaration that, we have been given these unalienable rights. These truths are self-evident. Martin Luther King, when he made that great I Had a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and it was August of 63, he says, "I say to you, my friends, on this day, in the midst of the difficulties and the frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. I have a dream that is rooted and woven into the dream of America. And I have a dream that someday this nation will rise up and truly live their magnificent creed and live that truth, that all are created equal. That all are created equal." This is the truth in which our country is based upon. And we're the ones who have to step into it. And we do so with our spirituality. And spirituality is really a living from the heart. It is living with a compassion, a compassion, an understanding. It is living with an understanding of this self-evident truths, these truths to be self-evidence, that all are created equal, is what King repeated, is what Jefferson stated. It is what this country has been based upon, that, this God-given freedom that we cannot be bound, but we are the ones who must be willing to live from that spiritual place and step into it with the gifts that we have to give and to share at the time in which we are living. There's storms, there's follies, there's difficulties, but still we are in the greatest nation where the people's voice can rise up and that it can speak. We are in the greatest nation that in spite of its difficulties, we are able to speak the truth of our being and to move forward. We are all been given these gifts to share with the world. And what I've come to realize is that, not all the gifts that we share or the truths that we feel are embraced. And as I think about that, sometimes I think about the rain that comes and the rain that falls. It shares its nutrients or its gifts. But it doesn't stick around to see what seeds got it. It doesn't care whether the petunias got it or the blades of grass or the mango trees. It shares its gifts and it moves on to share its gifts with the next treasures, the next seeds, the next trees, the next hillside, the next garden. And I learned from that because I share, I do these talks, and I sometimes wonder, man, you guys get it? I got my gifts. All of you have wonderful gifts, and I want to share from you from experience that, not all your gifts are wanted or needed in that moment by someone. And sometimes you just got to be good to, hey, this is me, and this is what I've got to share, and I'm moving on here. Because I have laid it out there before. I've watched people just sticking on their cell phone, playing away. And I've poured out my heart and soul with this soul-moving story that should move them to tears. And I'll even throw in a toaster and money-back guarantee. And they're not moved. And what's important to get is that you allow people to be who they are. You allow them to be free, to love them, free to express who they are. Maybe another day, maybe they are getting, maybe they're not. I don't know. But you don't want to be in a place of judgment, because judgment, you can't be in judgment and loving another soul at the same time. Got that? You can't be in judgment and loving another soul. You can't be like spraying, crud in the airwaves or the astral plane and hope that this person's going to snuggle up to you later. People may not know what you say and what it is you do, but they definitely know how they feel when they're in your presence. And you must be in integrity with the gifts that you have to share without the expectations. And you lay down. I'm doing this class, in a week from Tuesday. It's teaching you how to be a masterful manifester. I'm giving you the keys to creation. It is short, simple, and I want you to be there. But whether you show up or not, I don't know. But all I can do is present this gift to you. All you can do with your gift is present it to the world, to sing your song, to create a new business, get into a new relationship. Share that love and that passion, and know that the turbulence and the difficulties is on the other side of that storm is the flowering, is the blossoming, is the wonder that comes from being independent of the constraints, claiming your liberty or your freedom to be who you are, to share your gifts. Because I'll tell you what I know about the New Thought movement is we got a bunch of mavericks, man. It's like, follow the rules. I don't think so. It's like it doesn't work. The New Thought movement is birthed out of mavericks. And the thing about mavericks is a lot of us are misfits, meaning we just don't fit in to the consensus conversation of the times. And, it's like it would be nice to fit in, but what's important is that you fit into your own skin. And that means you might stand alone, but you'll attract your own. You'll attract those that relate to your creative, unique self-expression, your gifts of who you are. It would be nice to fit into the ranch and get front line in the chow line, but the Mavericks spirit can't be corralled. We can't sell out in the midst of a storm, in the midst of something brewing, of a revolution that is coming. Who you are is that divine conduit for that infinite expression of God to show up. And you are that place where it wants to have its expression. But you've got to believe that what I am here to do is not to preserve the land of my fathers, but I am here to preserve the future of my children, of the possibilities that lie in store for those that are coming after me. Those that went before me, they fought and they passed it on. And what I must be is a custodian of after their storm is to bring forth something that is powerful and good and new and wonderful. I am independent enough not to get caught up in thinking that's not a possibility. I am free enough to know that I am here to serve. There's something inside of me, as Rebecca was singing, Lord, who do I serve today? Sweet Lord, just show up. Let me be in service. And what I know is that who we are as Americans, human beings, is that when there is a real call, we do serve. We do step up. I mean, we've seen it happen time and time again. 9/11, New York wasn't necessarily known from the West Coast as the most friendliest place. I got to tell you, after 9/11, everybody came together. They were in service. They were giving. They were showing up. They were loving. They were there because there was a need. Nobody had to tell anybody to show up. They were showing up, and you can't stop me. It's like, if you've ever been on a plane, Dana, when they take off in something and it starts rolling down the aisle, it's just amazing. Everybody sticks their hand out and tries to catch what's going by. Nobody has to tell them. It is innate. I'm going to help. I'm going to serve. And then they start passing up. Well, this hand goes to this hand, it goes to this hand, and goes back up to data. It's amazing the way that works. And so what I know is that we are coming out of a traumatic time in our country, if not the planet. And what I know is people are stepping out with hearts that are wide open. How can I serve today? Where can I get involved? How can I love more, sweet Lord? Show me how it is I can care today more than I had been. We were shaken to the core, but that storm has passed. Just like in the revolution, there was a storm, and then it passed, and then we get on to live. And the best thing we can do to honor those that we lost in that storm is to live our liberty, to live our creative expression. We got to be absolutely determined, committed to our self-expression. That's what entrepreneurs do. That is what change makers do. That is what lighthouses do. That is what pioneers do. That is what spiritual leaders do. They are courageous in their self-expression, free enough not to be caught up in what has been the story, but inspired by what took place with the story, and to step into newness today, because today is where the dream is unfolding. Today, my dear friends, in spite of the difficulties and the frustrations, is what Martin Luther King said, I am united. I have a dream that our nation is rising at this time to bring the true meaning of what's going on. That these truths are self-evident. And we're all born free. Born with the inalienable rights of freedom, liberty. And those founding characters of our Genesis story, those 56, they signed that document. They signed their life, their fortune, and their sacred honor. Those 56 names, who King George was coming after first. It's like he had his own, Facebook account. These guys, we're going after. It's like that was the kind of commitment they had. Patrick Henry, that guy, remember? I don't know the course of others, but for myself, give me liberty or give me death. That's the level of commitment of what he had, he believed in, how important freedom was. Give me liberty or give me death. I don't want to be a corralled maverick. I am here because the world needs you at this time, and you have been called to be a spiritual leader at this time, and it can't be done by the handful of ministers or practitioners out there. It needs all of us to claim our divinity and be bold enough for the world to see it, because we are coming out of a storm. We're coming out on the other side, and we can either return to fear or we can go into love. The choice is ours. Mary Ann Williamson, when she was here, her book, The Politics of Love, it wasn't out yet. I think the second time she came, it was out, but the first time it wasn't. And I want to share with you, and you get this in the bookstore, and she shared that we don't just need a progressive politics or a conservative politics. We need more deeply human politics. We need a politics of love. Love is the angel of our better nature, just as fear is the demon of the lower self. And it is love, not fear, that has made us great. And when politics is used for loveless purposes, love, and only love, can override it. It was love that abolished slavery. It was love that gave women suffrage. It was love that established civil rights, and it is love that we need now. Fear has been politicized once again, and once again, love must respond. The larger world wasn't big on bringing love into politics, as we know. But the thing is, the crisis that we have going on is not a crisis of politics. It's a crisis of spirit. is the crisis of our morality. It is not a political crisis we're facing. It is a spiritual crisis that is outpicturing in the world. And it's not going to change unless we're willing to bring love, unless we're willing to bring what's on the other side of the storm to this side. You know, we've got too many people are sitting back and, you know, I just don't do politics. You know, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to care. I don't know enough about history. I don't, you know, I'm just too cool, or I'm too cynical, or whatever it is. I want you to know that we, the people, have got a problem. And it is we, the people, that will take us through this storm. We, the people, are standing at the edge of this precipice and looking, whoa, this is not a good situation that we are in. But you know what? America has never shied away from a difficult moment. And as we are willing to stand broad and be a conduit for the presence of God and something greater than the human mind of an individual can know, but in the collective consciousness of America and a planetary connectedness that looks to America as that lighthouse, as that guide, as that pioneer, as the spiritual leader, as that place where dreams are possible, where freedom really is a possibility. The world is watching what we do as it begins to have its issues and challenges, whether extinction, that's past the tipping point with some folk, some of the species, you know, or the ice caps that are melting. I trust we're not at the tipping point yet, but I got to tell you what, it's not too late for us to step in with a new sense of love for our environment, for our planet, for our brothers and sisters, to embrace the diversity and the uniqueness that is out there. You know, we the people have got an issue on this planet. It is we the people, not the politics, not the governments, not anything outside. It is we the people the power belongs with, and as we unite like little strings that create a rope, and that rope is added to a cable, and all of a sudden this cable has all these little lines, but it is powerful. We are being called to be part of that power move now with humanity. It's not the political crisis that is the storm, it is the spiritual one, and that is what we can do something about. We can be contributors to that. Our country has continued to come forth in that hour of need. It has done so, and our flag represents that. That red, white, and blue flag that Debbie is wearing today, and I'm kind of doing my thing with, you know, it means something. It has stood, you know, in 1945, after World War II, Congress enacted, I pledge allegiance to the flag. But what was interesting, in 1954, it was Eisenhower who took that piece from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and talked about one nation under God, and added that to the Pledge of Allegiance, that we're one nation under God. Pluribus unum. Out of the many, one. Diversity into unity. Out of the many, the one. Out of the 50 states, we're one country. Out of the diverse expression of 50 different states, of 3 million people, we're one. This is what our flag represents, a freedom for that 3 million self-expressions that unite in the collective idea of freedom. Here's what a flag means to someone.
An act of patriotism is earning that one homeless man in El Paso a great deal of praise this midday. He rescued a fallen American flag during a severe storm. Daniel Novick reports.
This flag should be flying high in front of Medi Inc., a federal contractor in East El Paso. But instead, the flag is lying flat inside, the flagpole on the ground outside, after a storm last Sunday.
The wind and the rain knocked over the flagpole, causing the flagpole to land in a parking lot overlooking Boeing Drive.
But it is the condition in which employees found Old Glory that shocked everyone until they checked their surveillance video.
We noticed that it was a Good Samaritan that came to the rescue of the flag around 1:40 in the morning.
You can see the man in driving rain and wind carefully fold up the American flag military style and then place the flagpole off to the side.
It was an amazing experience to see that. It was very heartwarming to see that Good Samaritan who was walking around that area at that time of the day in the rain will come to the rescue of the U.S. flag.
This is the man who didn't turn his back on the flag. His name is Gustus Bozarth, and he's homeless.
It's a small respect of folding the flag like that.
He lives here in the back of a warehouse just feet from the flag he saved. His only comforts are a small television And his two loyal cats, Lynx and Bobcat. Bozarth says he's roamed all over this country.
I've seen a lot on my journey.
And while working security in Tampa, he learned how to properly fold the flag. Despite this being his home and this being his life, he still has so much love for his country, so much respect for his flag.
For American freedom, freedom for America, the freedom for a lot of Americans.
You know, a homeless man who has nothing at all, he still holds on to his flag. He still holds on to his hope of his country. And that, to me, says a million words.
And that was Daniel Novak reporting.
We never know how touched people are and what this country means. As I said, you may not know what someone says or know what someone did, but you can feel it when you're in their field. You're able to experience that. You know, everyone gives what it is you've got to give. That's the maverick. That is the uniqueness. That is you standing on what it is with what you have to give. What he did was huge. So it's not where you are in life. It's who you are in this life. There was a young man, Father Patrick. He was driving his son and his wife home from church Sunday morning, and his son, Angus, said, "Hey, Dad." And Dad looked in the rearview mirror and could see his eyes on, "Hey, can we go to the church's 4th of July barbecue at the park with the city?" And his mom, and Patrick's wife, kind of held his shoulder and looked back and said, "Angus, we always have to leave before the fireworks." So yeah, Angus goes, "Oh yeah, that's right." It just made Patrick think about what happened to him 6 years earlier. His 7-year-old son wanting to go, to watch the fireworks. But 6 years earlier, he had just returned from active duty from Iraq. He was at his home in the barracks at Fort Bliss in El Paso at a neighbor's 4th of July picnic, and they were chatting, and all of a sudden, here, pop, 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 and he shouts, "Machine gun, small fire, take cover, dive, duck," and he dives to the ground, covers his head, and then he starts come to, and his buddy is saying, "Hey, Patrick, man, you okay?" And he looks up and he sees his buddy and he sees his wife, and he wonders, how could they be here in Iraq? And then it dawns, he starts coming back to this reality, and he realizes he's at a neighbor's house across the street from his home, that it was just some kids laying off a string of firecrackers, and that was okay. And he got up and he apologized, and everybody said they were sympathetic, they understood, PTS. But he was humiliated, he just embarrassed, for himself, diving to the ground. And he went home and he started a new 4th of July ritual where, he had turned the lights on low, played the TV really loud, get on his PlayStation with college football, and do that until the fireworks had stopped. And then, the last year to driving home on the Son of the Sun, he had lost his job. It had been really rough on him. The oil company was closing down. It was a long time before he got a job paying a third of what is driving a soda company truck, and they couldn't even afford shoes for Angus. And Angus said, "But the church, they've got a back to school shoe program. We can go get shoes." And they did that, and they thanked the guy, the minister, and the people. And all of a sudden, he went back to church on a Sunday, and it was like he went into this community and he felt loved for who he was, not his foibles or his faux pas or his challenges. They loved him for who he was. He sat there the first Sunday just crying. It sounds like here, everybody comes through for the first time. And he felt inside of himself. He told his wife when they got home from church that Sunday, for Angus, I want to do it this year. Do you think I can? She said, "Yeah, I think you can." And so he called his dad, who was a military guy. He said, "Son, what you want to do, fireworks, you face the pyrotechnic stand, and just so it doesn't surprise you, you can see them coming. You surround yourself by friends." And so Patrick worked with the small group at his church that week. He told the people, and all of a sudden people say, "Hey, we're going to pray for you. And we'll put it on our Facebook prayer chain." And all of a sudden he Star, you got these prayers. We're praying for you. You can do it, man. All right. You've got this one, Patrick. And he could just feel the love and support. And that 4th of July day came, and as he was driving to the park, Angus is in the back seat, excited. And when they get there, he jumps out. He runs to the jumpy, Pops, goes to work at the hot dog stand. Mom's laying out the blanket. They're watching the baseball game, softball game that's going on. And then dusk comes, and the band gets loud. And he could just, Patrick started feeling his heart going. It's like, oh no, I can feel it coming. This is time we usually go. And I think we need to go. I got to position myself. Dad said, look at the pyrotechnic stand. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, he heard, "Hey, Patrick, we got your back." And he turned around, and there were a couple of his people from the church. And then next to them were a couple other people he knew. He said, hey, we're with you. We got you. And then some other people, and all of a sudden there were a lot of people from the church just surrounding him. Say, hey, we've been praying. We know you got it. If not, we're here. You can trust us. Don't worry. You got this one. And all of a sudden Patrick's head is thinking, like you put your prayers into the prayer request chest. People have been praying, and people are praying. I can do this. I can do this. And all of a sudden the guys line up to start off the pyrotechnic display. And he takes his son Angus, and he puts him on the top of the dugout, and he stands next to his son, and the first pop goes. And then there's the first light that comes from that. And then a second stream, silver across the sky. And then the colorful sprays and the pom-poms in red and white and blue. And Angus is pointing, "Look, Dad, look," as his eyes are lighting up. And his dad just grabs his legs and says, I'm looking, I see. That's the power of love. That's the power of love. It can change a life. A love for a 7-year-old son. Love for yourself. If love can change a life, it also can change a nation. Free a nation from the servitude to a distant king. Love can save a nation from quarantine. Love can save a city from disasters. There will always be storms. But there will always be that which is beyond the storm. And when the circumstances are tight, you have been given the liberty and the freedom to know that you are not bound by the circumstances. That people know about America. Hey, we may show up late. We like to sleep in. We might be late waking up and getting to the party, but when America shows up, man, we slam it. We got it down, and we're going to take care of that which is at hand. We always have, we always will, and we will now because we are a light, we are innovative, we are creative, we are a nation in our vast differences, creating a mighty nation of light for this planet to see as spiritual leaders of greater possibilities than the fears and the concerns. For love is needed, and we get to be the bringer with our unique expression, our maverickness that cannot be corralled. God bless us on this Independent Day as we embrace our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Benjamin Franklin said the Constitution doesn't guarantee happiness. You have to pursue it and catch it. God bless us as we do. Love you. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring back to the stage Rain Bisou. Does your last name mean kiss in French? Yeah, I just found that out.
Reverend, I found your analogy about rain to resonating heavily with why I decided to name myself Rain. It's a blessing whether you know it or not. The rain comes, like you said, it offers its gifts, and then it keeps going. And it's a wonderful thing to be an artist, and to be an artist that's constantly sharing and finding new ways to continue to expand. I mentioned earlier that I'm very grateful to be here and sharing this particular song because when I was in the 5th grade, I performed this song, and I'm a child of immigrants. My mother's from El Salvador, my dad's from Mexico. And I got to fulfill a lot of things that if they hadn't immigrated to this country, I wouldn't have been able to do. For instance, I was the first person in my family to graduate from a university. And also because of all the opportunities that they were able to create for me here, I was able to follow my dreams as an artist, which is something I wouldn't have been able to do in their home countries. So very grateful and very proud to be an American. Hope you guys enjoy the song.
Bisou. Woo! Thank you. Nailed it. Rain, man, that is. So I asked Rebecca, ask you to sing that song. You just did it beautifully. I'm glad you brought your 5-year-old with you out for a song. So thank you. Well, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift, to share our love, to share our offering. And it is a time in which we get to pour forth our heart and our spirit and our energy and our vibe. And many of you have practiced it by the beginning of the year or the end of last year and say, you know what, count me in for this year. And with that auto tithe, that regular systematic support that comes from your world into Seaside, it has made a difference in the first 6 months of this year. It made a difference through all of last year. And so your continual love and support has allowed us to stand in our unique expression of light, to stand up for the possibilities of what is on the other side of the storms, the difficulties, the situations, the challenges, whether in our life, in our body, or our nation. There is God in the midst that is guiding us through. And as we continue to put Spirit first and to support Spirit's work, what we find is Spirit supporting the work in our life. We'll find God bringing us the peace that is necessary in the time of those constraints. It will bring us a sense of security knowing that we are taken care of no matter what is going on in our life. It will take care of us in our relationships, in our love, in our expression, in our careers. It's like when you can remember Spirit even in the midst of the challenges. Boom. And so when the times are good, you remember Spirit. So when the challenges come, you know God is there for you. So I want to invite you to look in your heart and to take your gift from that deep place. And I'd like to call our ushers forward at this time. And I just want to say thank you to all that have mailed in your contributions when you can't be here. Those that participate with the auto tithe that said up front, hey, you can count me in weekly, monthly, annually, however it works. But it is because together we have made ourselves known. We stand on a foundation that is solid, irrespective of what's taking place in the world. And that foundation is what the men and the women that came here originally to join the First Nation people, is they came looking for God. And this is what our nation is built on. So let's remember to put Spirit first. I shared this prayer of love, gratitude, and appreciation for the abundance that is moving in the lives of all of us, whether we are physically here or on the airwaves. I know right now that there is a deep sense of excitement for the greater light that is going boom, 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 as was sung earlier. That light, that love, that Spirit. As I rest in that place, I feel a security and a peace. That God's got my back. That all of a sudden, that love is greater than the fear. That the abundance is greater than the fear. Something good is going on. And so with the generous expression that is rising and moving through me, I share this love. And I find it multiplying, pouring back tenfold into my life in wonderful ways. So with joy I give, and with joy I receive. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us share our affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring of love, the caring, and the spiritual expression of the practice of being the activity that the vine is having as our very life. For this gift that has been given in love and joy, it is received in that kind of way with the joy and the love. And we take it in to heart, and we handle it with good stewardship, and we put it back into the world, allowing that joy and that love and that blessing and the grace of God in which it was given to continue to move out into the world. So how grateful we are of being a portal through which it has moved, blessing and enriching everyone at Seaside, creating the space for us to share this message with the world, and knowing that these actual dollars go back into the world, touching more and more with that wonderful vibration you put into them. So thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to participate in abundance, and so it is. Amen. All right. Hey, John, he is on your board of trustees, our vice president here, and heading up our paper program. How's it going? So we're beyond a dozen. Well, that's good. We're looking at 20 now. Well, hey, I know we got one right here. Hey, there you go. So thank you for heading that up. Hey, when are we going to see the first batch in the ground, which is one of mine?
I submitted the first 15, and I'm waiting for the proofs.
Oh, nice. All right. It's so fun going out there and looking, what parents said, what people have said, and just walking and looking at the history. So if you've done it once, you can do it again. That's true. Anyway, hey, Rebecca, thank you for the wonderful orchestration of music and just the wonderful artistry you bring. I know your gig tonight will be wonderful, and Thursday out there at Moonlight. So go check it out if you want some gospel music out there on the big stage. Hey, Matthew, thank you for giving us the sound. Marv, thank you for doing those visuals. Nice job. Speaking of nice job, Rev Deb, it is always a joy to share a Sunday morning with you. And you're doing Wednesday night, right? The vision that pulls? Not the pain that pushes. That's the vision that pulls. That's right. That's what this week is about. Last week was Taze. This week is Rev Deb, live. So go to the website, click live stream, and Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, right there. Hey, guys on the cameras, thank you so much. We've got Timothy over there getting us a whole new editing system. We got Edwin over on this camera. We've got Dee over on this camera. Thumbs up to all of you. And in the editing room with the new editing equipment that all of you online have helped us, purchase. So those of you online, your gifts make a difference. We have purchased new editing, so I trust this week was better than the last 2 weeks. Yes? Yes, all right, that's good. And there we got Dana doing the chat rooms right there. So, continue to share with her. When you get home, if you like today's message, share it with somebody. You just hit, I don't know how you do it, but you hit something. And that's the way it works. But also go to our website, check out what's going on. A week from Tuesday, my class is starting. So the sign-up sheet is in the back. There's more than a dozen people on there already. It's going to be fun. It's quick. It's only an hour and a half, and it's 3 Tuesdays. You sign up, now we'll save you, $5 a class. So yeah, that's worth doing. Callie, your retreat's happening Saturday, right? The women are getting together. Carissa, your girl, is going to be singing there. You got Jan Phillips in her book, Unzip Creativity, and of course you got Callie. So is there any room left? Yes. So how they sign up? On the website, okay. Well, you can sign up for mine on the website too, but definitely the women's on the website. There's a lot going on. You can see the sound meditations coming back. Seaside is alive, but what we really need is for you to help bring people back to Seaside. We've kept things going, but now I need you to bring the tribe home. The clan's got to return, and that's you. Bring in, call, and say, hey, where you been? Come on back. Christian doesn't bite anymore. Come on, it's like it is a good place. Things need some upgrades. Handy person. We need a handy person. Someone wears a tool belt and carries a paintbrush. We could use some, where the chamber is going to use our backyard in August. We need to paint a couple things and fix some. So we could use that. Somebody who does computer during the week. It's alive. We need you here in service. A beautiful song served today. Anyway, I get excited about what is going on. Seaside is alive. It is dynamic, it is growing, and it is fun, and we've got new people showing up. So just welcome home. And I want to pray, because what is the foundation of Seaside has always been God first, pray, God first, and pray. And then we take action by how we're called and how we're moved. And so I invite you to move with me into this divine vibration, to sync up with the infinite, knowing that life force, that all originating first pulse that breathed life into us is the truth of who we are. That God nature of joy and love and health, well-being, abundance, ease, grace, security. Those divine qualities, that the God nature, that is your nature. I know it's mine. I can feel it. I sense it. And we are all of that one. Infinite means there's not God in you. You are part of it. The God nature is your nature. You claim that. You courageously, boldly, unabashedly step into the magnificence of who you are. Align with the wonderful rising tide of claiming our unalienable rights, these truths to be self-evident. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So if there is a constraint, a concern, a challenge that cramps the style, constricts the flow, locks us down, we find ourselves in the midst of the storm, be like a Washington. Get down and just say, God, with all your passion from God, life, I am that. Show me. There's an answer here. Beyond the storm, beyond the concern, beyond the revolution. This country was built with revolution. We are used to turmoil and knowing the blessings and the gifts that rest on the other side. When we, the people, stand up for the truth, I'll stand with you. E pluribus unum. Out of the many, one. We're one nation under God, indivisible. And it's in this time where we're coming out of a collective trauma that beyond this storm is a bright new day and a new world that we, the people, step into with conviction, with passion, with trust, with a peace and a fervent passion to express God at the highest. And the Spirit is moving through me. But I know as it purges out anything unlike itself. So I, in this moment, know that each and every one of us becomes that divine vortex in which that energetic expression of life moves, and in it dissolves and neutralizes, it removes what doesn't belong. I don't need to tell God that guides the universe what to do. What I need to do is get out of the way and allow that infinite intelligence to reactivate, reanimate every cell, every tissue, every fiber of my being, animate my emotions, my passion, and the zest for life. And watch out, world. Here you come. You have been called for a time such as this to be that pioneer, that innovator, that lighthouse, that spiritual leader, that expresser of what lies before. The Eden, the garden, where the rain falls. And we say thank you for the gifts that heal the body, that transform difficulties, that open the floodgates for the abundant flow, the richness, the blessings, the monetary support, the money that allows the gifts that we have to share to this world to come forth. So my mind is no longer constrained with the concerns of finances, but I am open to the inner urgings of Spirit. And in this, the relationships I'm in become passionate and wonderful and magical and juicy and creative, honest and integral. Whether it's with friends, significant others, business, I am congruent with who I am, which is God expressing. Life is good. I know every prayer request has been brought forth to our prayer request. And our practitioners who stand with us today, who are available after service in our prayer center or in our virtual prayer room. You just click on the website and go visit and get a prayer. They speak that word of truth. They align with the consciousness of a Washington that connected with God. The writers, not only of our Declaration, but every state's constitution that appeal to that higher power. That is the consciousness that is available now for each and every one. So every prayer request brought to our prayer request chest is now answered. And we open our hearts. Just as Patrick was surrounded by his family in a time of challenge and love healed, I know our beloved practitioner, Kathy Polson, who the family and doctors say she is in the midst of making her transition right now. We know that she is able to let go and move on with a courageousness and a life and a passion, with a brilliance that her mind always has been. And for Ginger, Larson, who made her transition this week. We remembered in prayer last Sunday. And she moves on. Her friends left behind. You can feel her love and her presence in their life. Then on Thursday, she stepped over to the other side free from the circumstances and the constraints. For there's nothing that can bind our spirit. And surround Vicki Lancaster, whose husband George made his transition yesterday. That George moves on, the ease and the grace. The sudden surprise to that, to Vicki and their children. And we've watched their children on the stage, Fiona, Roden. Remember Zane, who used to get the microphone from Fran every week and sing the release song. Little Zane is now 17. That they are touched with the passing of their father, knowing that he lives within their heart and their soul and their spirit. That Dad is good. And the family left behind comes to find a peace that passes any kind of logic. But there's a faith that these kids were raised on, and a mom that knows that life is eternal. That this love that we're talking about today is multidimensional. It is not bound by time, space. And this is the kind of love that downloads when we become available. Multidimensional expression, the power of this love will transform anything and everything when we allow the gifts of the reign of God to be felt, to activate the entelechy and the intelligence of the seed that can be the recipient of the beautiful blossoming of the new world, of the new kingdom, of the new garden of God that we have been called to help usher in. For this Independence Day, this day of freedom, allows us to remember that love is what frees us all, from all, to be all that we are. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Say I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Say no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Sing it out loud, Seaside, come on. That's right. That's just beautiful. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right. So our affirmation is, I find freedom beyond my concerns. Together, let's say that. I find freedom beyond my concerns. Touch your heart and say it again. I find freedom beyond my concerns. Come on, one more time like it's your truth. Let's hear it. I find freedom beyond my concerns. And our song of grace.
I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love, we're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. Be safe. Have a wonderful time. Have a blessed week. Bring someone with you next week.
Thank you.